So let's talk about the Hell Let Loose Vietnam delay. And yeah, I know I'm a little bit late to this one, but I think there's still plenty worth saying. And honestly, the initial reaction from the community tells us something important about where this franchise is going now. So let's get into it. So for anyone who missed it, Hell Let Loose Vietnam was set to launch on June 18th. 2 weeks out from that date, Team 17 announced it was being pushed back to August 13th, nearly 2 months later than planned. The official reason was straightforward enough. They ran the open beta, did intensive internal playtests on PC, found issues significant enough that they couldn't fix them in time for June 18th, and made the call to delay. In their own words, they wanted to deliver a strong launch experience. Simple enough on paper, but the community reaction was anything but simple. Now here's the thing, depending on which corner of the Hell Let Loose community you're in, the reaction to this delay was completely different. Some people were genuinely relieved, me included. The beta had performance issues, bugs, things that clearly weren't ready for a full paid release. The group's attitude was essentially good. So I'd say, take your time. We've seen what happens when games launch broken, and this community has absolutely zero patience left after everything that's happened with Team 17. Then there's the cynical crowd, and honestly, given the history, that cynicism isn't unfair. This is a game that had an announcement, a closed beta, an open beta, a confirmed release, taken pre-orders, and still delayed 2 weeks before launch. For a community that already doesn't fully trust Team 17, or at least some of us at least, this felt like a confirmation that the game was never really ready and they were going to ship it anyway until the beta forced the hand. And then there's the third group who looked at the delay and said, good, but 2 months isn't nearly enough time, which is probably the most brutally honest reaction out of the three. Now let's be real, a delay this close to launch is not a great look. If the game was in great shape, they wouldn't be pushing it back 6 weeks before release. Significant enough that patching them in time for June 18th just wasn't possible. But here's the counter argument, and it's quite an important one. A delayed game can get better. A broken launch is forever. We've seen what happens to games that ship rough. The reviews tank, the narrative becomes this game's a mess, and never fully recovers no matter how many patches follow. First impressions in this market are everything. The fact that they listened to beta feedback and made the call to delay rather than push through is objectively the right decision. It had just been nicer if the game had been in a state where the decision wasn't necessary in the first place. The delay actually buys Team 17 something that they didn't have before, and that's the time to get it right, and time for the conversation around the game to develop properly. The open beta peaked at 24,000 concurrent players, and that's a solid number for a milsim title. People showed up, people were interested, the foundation's there. 2 months of targeted fixes based on real player feedback could turn a rocky launch into a genuinely strong one. This delay is actually useful information. Watch what they do between now and August 13th. Are they communicating openly about what they're fixing? Are they running another test? Do they address the community server question that still hasn't been answered? The next 2 months will tell you more about whether Team 17 have actually learned anything than any trailer or press release ever could. So yeah, bit of a short one today, and I know I was quite late to the party on this one, but the delay story isn't really over yet. August 13th is the next chapter, and I'll be covering it as it happens. And if you want to stay up to date with everything, and if you like this video, hit subscribe, hit like, it genuinely really helps the channel. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you relieved they delayed it, or does it just confirm your worst fears? See you in the next one.